Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talk. It's going to be an interesting Saturday, an interesting month. We have a lot of conversations lined up, and today we're talking cryptocurrency, beginners level, with Jimmy Dorcas. So, in a minute, she'll be with us, and she's here. So, Dorcas has been a crypto enthusiast and she loves to talk about crypto. When I asked her to be on the show, she was like, "Oh, so long as we're talking crypto, I really enjoy talking about crypto." And I think it's interesting how things have evolved, and it would be great to hear from someone who is fully in the trenches, So she'll be joining us in a minute. Please save your questions or take down your questions. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, a lot of misgivings about what cryptocurrency is about. Hello, Roland. Hello, Blessing. Hello, Coach Khan. All our people are here. Okay. Dorcas, if you can hear me, I've sent a couple of invites. Okay, it keeps saying you're unable to join. I do not know why, so let me try again. Aha!
Can you hear me now?
Clearly.
Yes.
Loudly.
I was trying
Welcome.
to invite, but I don't know what was happening.
I don't know.
I could not join.
I really like that Justin Timberlake's technology. Sometimes I'm tired of using it, but what can we do?
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, volume. Hold on. And give me. Okay. Try and speak.
Perfect.
Now, please. Yes. I can
Hello.
from my hand.
Great.
Hi.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I've done a little bit of introductions. Let's all meet Dorcas. Welcome, Dorcas. Today we're talking about cryptocurrency, the blockchain, Web3, all those big grammar, but as simplified as possible. Dorcas has been in the trenches. She's part of the community, and I mean, it's interesting. I think this is where I would love to start. I'm calling you from miles away. You're somewhere in Lagos. I'm somewhere in the FCT, and I think it's interesting how technology has evolved. From using gongs to where we are now, and it's still evolving. I understand that for a lot of people these days, when they hear technology, we have that tiny idea of tech. But basically, technology is just the application of science to everyday life. And it's like money, money has evolved, and probably this is where we are now. So I think it's interesting to talk a little bit about crypto, from when the Chinese started using fiat currencies to others using cowries to us coming to the point where we have a centrally dominated US dollar, and now we've evolved into a new digital phase. So it's not more like like technological money, but I mean the digital phase is creating money for the digital platforms itself. I think that's how I see cryptocurrency. But I mean, I'd like to start from here. How has this evolution of money come to you, and what makes you love crypto this much?
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here to talk about something that I've come to learn so much about and absolutely love for the tech and for the returns on it as well. Okay, just like you introduced, money has evolved, right? Like starting from how the barter system to gold to paper money, fiat, to
Mm-hmm.
electronic money, the card system, credit card, and now to what we know as the digital currency. And one of the reasons why I like cryptocurrency, the digital space, is the fact that anybody can have access to it. Like, unlike your regular banking system where you would, have to go through some stuff, submit this, do that, register, do all those things. Like, anybody can own this thing. Anybody can participate. Like, there is space for everybody, and you can do your own thing. Like, what I mean, do your own thing, you can participate in, there are different aspects of it. Right now it has evolved from just the regular trading of it to the DeFi space, to NFTs, to like so large. And that's why when you hear people talk about the fact that we are so early, like we are still in the early stages. And when you think about this, it makes you think back to 2018, when it was launched, when it got started. And at that time, it just started as something that could fix the one of the problems of the world, like inflation, and then the fact that there is um, the fact that what you could do with an amount of money today, you can't, like 2 years ago, you can't do the same thing with it today. Let me give a specific example. Let's say 1,000 naira. Like 2 years ago, you could buy so much, maybe so much, so to say, with 1,000 naira, and today you can probably even buy half of that. So this thing, this thing that we call crypto, has come, fix that problem. And then when you also talk about, when you look at fiat that we spend, there is endless supply of it. They can continue to print it, have so much of it. And if you are an economic student, or if you have an idea of what demand and supply is, you know that when something has an high demand, then it doesn't have so much value, so to say. But with crypto, let's use Bitcoin as an example right now. You can't have there can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in circulation. There can't be, and they can't print more of that. It's a fixed amount of it. So that kind of solves one of the problems of inflation, and that's one of the reasons I like it. Now, I talked about the fact that it's going to fix the worst problem, and the fact that anybody can participate in it. Anybody and everybody.
Okay,
That's
that's interesting. Um, I think I would like to double down a little bit from on the part where you talked about just having only 21 million Bitcoin. I mean, my economics brain is raising up. So I mean, it's um, so from 2018 to now, Bitcoin is about like $39,000 at the point. I guess at the last time I checked.
yeah.
Um, from 2018 when it started, I remember. I mean, this is a very funny story. Um, some guys came to us and were like, "Oh, we invest in this," and Nigeria has a lot of Ponzi stuff there.
Yeah.
Actually, we actually did put some money in it at that beginning phase, but I think I've even seen an evolution of what it was. I was discussing with someone recently, and he said he also saw the potential for money, but I mean, at that point, we didn't know exactly how to handle the blockchain. I didn't know much about it. I studied as much as I could. I didn't know what to do with my keys. Long and short of it all, the people went away with it. If they made a profit out of it at the present cost where it is now, it's it's possible. If they didn't, I mean, given what most people look at as their gaining from the small dubiousness they can do for people. And I think a lot of people also have a problem with investing in stuff like this because we've seen a lot of Ponzi's come and go. So I think where I want to narrow in is on that point of inflation. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin go from 1 to 39,000, and I think in part of that psychology, most people looking at the present see we just notice only when it has its short wins, and we fail to understand that this thing has come a long way. So would you say that scarcity, is it intentional, like having just this amount of Bitcoin? And then if it's for everyone, how does everyone participate when you can't get more than is in supply?
I actually like that question. Well, yeah, I said there can only be 21 million Bitcoin created, but everybody can, I mean, you can be a part of it by owning what we call satoshis, because Bitcoin is divided into 0.0 in 8 decimal places, and you can own a fraction of Bitcoin. So it's not everybody currently. Actually, I think the price as of this morning was around $36,000. So when I said 21 million, that is the total value of it. I mean, like the amount of it. So Bitcoin as a price right now, set to dollar, is 36,000 USD. 35.36 is very good. So I mean, it's not everybody that has 36K lying somewhere and can just put into it and own one Bitcoin, right? But you can get a fraction of it, like I said. And how do you get it? Now, in the past, it used to be not as easy as this. Like, people have to go through maybe to have some sources, exchanges, so to say. But now you can, it's as easy as you downloading. We have so many of them. I don't know, I can mention one, right? Like, we have so many of them. You can just download the application on your phone.
Of course, we'll get to that point. I mean, we'll
okay.
have to, but
like
we'll get to the point where we can share.
Okay, cool. So the most popular one, Binance, where you can download it on your phone, and Binance has a peer-to-peer platform where you can, fund your account with. You can fund it with Naira, right? Buy USDT, and you can use that USDT to buy your Bitcoin. So you can actually own as little as $50 of Bitcoin. You can own as little as 100. Like, you can begin your journey into cryptocurrency by owning the small parts, the smallest amounts that you can think of, and then you continue to grow from there. So when you own $50 of Bitcoin, you don't own one Bitcoin, but you own a fraction of it, which is what everybody should do right now.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because I mean,
your network breaking.
What's the population of the world? I think about 1 billion. I mean, I think a billion or something. All right,
8 billion now. How many?
Go around for everything.
Okay, so I think you're breaking. Okay, you're back. So I mean, I hear you. I think this one is not going to come as a question, not more as a comment. I mean, we've all come from that stage of beginner stage to this place where we are like, oh, okay, there's actually something here. So what do you think, what we say is the most common problem? The most common problem, yes, that people say to you whenever they hear about crypto. Like, what's the most common thing when people hear about crypto from your end?
It has to be that the exclamation I just did. Bitcoin. So,
I mean, we can.
I don't know why people does that.
Well, I would say it's the psychology behind a lot of the Ponzi schemes people have seen, and then the entry into it. I mean, I'm on a lot of communities which promote these things, which help people get in on trading platforms, in investing platforms, and every day I'm seeing that it's growing. So it's more like this gospel hasn't spread. So I mean, if I should ask you, like, in one sentence, why do you believe that Bitcoin is the future? Like, it's not Bitcoin this time because there are a lot of currencies. Why do you believe that cryptocurrency is the future? In one sentence.
In one sentence. Well, I would say
Yes, it can be a long sentence. It doesn't necessarily have to be
evolution.
short.
I would say evolution. That's it. Because we aren't going to stick. It's just like, when the system changed into the coin system, the metallic and all that stuff. So the world is changing, and there was a research that was done, and it was found that the majority of the world are actually unbanked. That means they don't have a bank account. But I think that crypto is the future because um, because number one, anybody that has internet and has a device or smart device can have access to it. You can just download an exchange on your phone, fund use anywhere in the world. It's just like, okay, example, if you're traveling to United States, for instance, you're traveling to United States from Nigeria, you would have to change your naira to US dollars to spend it. So it's now the is into as a form. What you have to do is take your smartphone, crypto. They probably the stable coin. It could be a stable coin, and we have several of those. Or it could, so that's why I see it as the world is going, because it's going because we can't continue to change our cards. We can't continue to open and do all those things. It's just easier. It's just like we started with the internet and everything, and now we have several tools to make things easier for them. So I do believe that is what people are going to start. I mean, soon we get to use as a form of payment to that part where they see it as what it is and just accept it, and it gains what acceptability, and then people can use it without any form of barrier or whatever that is going on right now.
Interesting. I think what you just said sparked what I was already about to talk about. The concept of decentralization. I mean, it's easy for us to say. I mean, in my observations of history, it's easy to say, yeah, government should accept these things. I know that most governments have had their misgivings about certain things, which, of course, when you check, they are not factual in the reality of what it is, especially since your ledger. Now, your ledger is like your bank statement. Anybody can see it. So, sorry for some of the terms these things come. Fiat is the normal money you use every day, for those who are just joining. So, your ledger is visible to anyone who has the address. But I think what I want to talk about now is the concept of decentralization. I think I've seen I have observed a few things occur, which almost want to negate that idea that, oh, okay, we can necessarily build a decentralized financial economy. I mean, in my observation of history, humans tend towards centralization at the end of the day. We like community, so we like that bonding. The full-scale reason of or idea of decentralization means an autonomy to control my own money, to control my time, to control everything I want to do. In some cases, sometimes I battle this thing in my head, like this sometimes moves against human nature. But I would like to hear your idea of decentralization. Do you think it's possible for this type of full-scale autonomy you're talking about for people to have on their finances?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, it's just part of evolution because I, when you look at it now, the traditional banking system, there are still some limitations that comes with it. Let's say, for instance, money, or maybe you want to withdraw a large sum of money, you may have to wait for a couple of
Pay,
days,
pay, pay
or you
plenty.
may have to, you are using your bank applications and no reason, network issues, bank charges, and all those things. Like some ridiculous. I'm sure everybody at one time or the other complained about the ridiculous these bank systems. When it comes to this and to the crypto, these things are eliminated. You are in control of your money. And apart from the fact that you're in control of your money, you can do so much more with your money. You can, the regular, the traditional banking system, you put your money in it, right? You're saving your money with them, so to say. But, and they promise you that they're going to give you interest, right? But compared to what's the interest that you get is like change, is like coin put in. But when you bring that same amount of into the crypto, and you get this kind of interest that makes you feel like, wait, what have I been doing with my whole life? Like, I can't believe that I've been dashing these people money. Is that the banks don't just keep your money they don't keep it in one vault. Like, oh yeah, thank you for bringing your money. We're going to put it in the vault and keep it safe. They're actually using it for things like trading, like giving out mortgage, loan, enriching them. So when people come to that understanding, I can get back that power and be in control of my money and even make more money. Reasonable interest with my money. People will actually want to have that kind of power and do so much with their money. Like, yeah, so I'm going to earn interest with it. I'm in control. I can withdraw and save anytime. I don't have to sign some documents. I don't have to go through some what's it called, rules and regulations or whatever before I'm able to get this money out. So when people really, really understand this and what it brings to them, trust me, they are going to get that full power. So I do believe in decentralization and yeah. Did I answer that question?
Yeah, I think extensively. I mean, it's just some of those misgivings that people usually have. I think some another popular person who I know who has misgivings about the entire thing is basically based on the concept of human greed, like is somewhat just indicated on surface level. The idea of getting profit, of trading, of trading to gain profit, it's something Adam Smith would have said, yeah, this basically works in the human cycle of greed and self-interest. So I think we'll try to bring it down on so we'll move in two directions now. I mean, I don't know which I'll start with. One of them is going to basically the psychology of this, and that psychology is tied to investing. Again, if you draw back to when we started earlier, you pointed out like this started in like 2018, and at this point, even when we say it's crashing, it's not crashed as bad as when it started. So it has that compounding elevation on it. I think that human biases sometimes look in the short term, and so we see things in that present terms, like we're seeing it at the stage where it is, and we don't see that long-term trend which has come through, which it might head towards. And sometimes speculations also break a lot of things in this. There's a small jump in price, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm hitting 100K," and I laugh, and I'm like, "No, this thing doesn't work like this." I mean, it's human psychology. But regardless of your optimism, like from a rational point of view, in the long term, is this honestly something you to say? I mean, you've had time in the field. Say you can invest in this in the long term, and in the long term, there's some benefits to it.
Yeah, Absolutely. See, the thing is that what people need to understand with whether any kind of investment or maybe let me say crypto, for instance, is that isn't it, it's not something where you can just come in and get rich quick, even though you can. But that shouldn't be your mentality.
I like how you put that. Yeah.
Because the truth is that market has ego that is called emotional phases or like there's market circles. And if you go to there is the market circle, you can check it on Google. Wall Street cheats, Wall Street cheats. I'm going to type that later. So you can get that and you see how the market moves from optimism to greed to fear to depression and all those things. And currently, the market goes through that circle. As a matter of fact, gold, stocks, they go through all that. But the thing is that because crypto started as something that was so easy as and accessible for a lot of people, they didn't have that knowledge, right?
Mm.
They didn't see that okay, this thing is going to start from here, go here, but would not forever stay here, come down again and repeat itself. Because there are some people that at 25,000, they want to take that in layman language. Like they've made returns on profit. And when a lot of people do that, they are shorting the market because it's called shorting the market. They take their profit, or some people decide to sell it. The market goes down in value. But you or somebody who doesn't have that knowledge and thinks that it's currently at 60K, previous all time is at 60K, everybody's going to be a billionaire. I'm going to buy my land in, invest it with your money at 60K, but because market will not forever go like this, it's going to come down. Then it starts going down. People start, oh, Bitcoin is a scam, Bitcoin is this, Bitcoin is that, it's going down. But market is just doing what the market is going to do. You as what everybody an investor needs, or as somebody wants to make money in that space needs to do is to have an investor. What should I do as an investor? As an investor, you want to put your number one as value, and you want to buy it at a time that not when it's at its all time high. The truth of the matter is, I'm not, well, this is not a financial advice, do your own research, but to probably invest into crypto is because it's down, everybody's afraid, people are scared, some people are losing money, but you as an investor, somebody that has an investor mindset, you know that, yeah, this thing is definitely going to, because you've done your research, and you know that this thing has value, not just Bitcoin, there are several other cryptocurrencies right now. But you know that this thing is serving a purpose and it's going to increase in value. You put your money into it when it's low, so that when you go back up again, you begin to see interest on your money, and you can decide to be taking your profit little by little, or you wait for a target profit. So yes, as a person, I definitely do see this as something that I can invest in, because I've been investing in for a while and I've made returns on it, and not just on Bitcoin, like I said. The other cryptos that
this is not financial advice.
I'm not crypto right now.
NFA, please.
You're not buying me coins. You're not buying coins that have no value, no utility,
yeah.
no nothing.
Good. Sorry to cut you.
You will make money. Oh, let me say you will
sorry
get
to cut you. Yeah. Sorry to jump in here on something you just said. Utility and value. Now, these are very two key and important terms that I think I want you to expand on a little bit. So, but let's bring it down to environment. I mean, like, for example, we already know that officially, cryptocurrency is banned in Nigeria, but still people are still building stuff for it. Like we said, technology evolves. When we still look into our immediate environment, most of the technology we build is not mostly things that key into our environment. I'll give an example. I mean, I was once building something which was meant to be like, oh, a tech service, and then I walk into the market one day and I look around and it just jumps into my awareness like, dude, the state at which your country is, the people here cannot afford the numbers to really propel certain kinds of technological services that we develop. So it's almost as if most of us who are in a certain stage, we tend to look higher than what our environment is. I mean, it's beneficial when you're talking about countries which have advanced in their technologies and they have the basic amenities which are there. They've been industrialized, they've moved on. So now let's come down to value and utility.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen quite a few projects which have utility, the gaming parts, the exchange parts. Some of them have been fixing problems still within those places. So in our environment as in Nigeria, I mean, how would you interpret? Okay, I think I'll say something then I'll now hear your own side. I mean,
Okay.
when we look at Africa as a whole, I think we have too many borders, financial borders, exchange borders, travel borders. Traveling from Nigeria to Kenya is more expensive than getting to France. I mean, we see a lot of these borders in these places, and I think where a lot of crypto has been beneficial as an advantage, it has cut past a lot of those financial borders. But then I think I would like to hear, or we would like to hear what you say, like on layman level, utility and value. What's the utility of most of these coins? I mean, these are digital products. You're telling me to put my real money into a digital asset, and you're telling me it has utility for the future. How do I find the utility it has? How do I evaluate? I mean, I hope that's a real term. Or how do I find an equal value for the fiat currency, my everyday money I can use to buy Gary, and use it to buy a digital coin, and say it's great value for me in the future, perhaps, or even as an exchange.
Oh, hold on. Wait, are you trying to say that how people can understand how crypto can,
The valuability,
I mean, like how they
yes.
can, how do I say, to get the value and utility of a crypto?
Not necessarily of a crypto, but like on a wide scale, using our environment. What's the value of me putting? What's the value in crypto for in Nigeria, for instance? So we still have a wide range of people who can't even afford a fraction of Bitcoin, for example.
Huh. Okay.
Take your time.
I'm not sure I understand the question. I think that's the issue.
Okay, just express. Yeah, maybe express what you think you heard. It's still valuable for us.
I thought say that how do people get to understand how valuable a crypto is? I thought that's what.
Okay, let's start from there. Yeah, let's start from there. How do we know how valuable a coin is?
Okay, so if you want to know the value of a coin, or it boils down to you doing your own research. And how do you do your own research? You first of all have to understand the fundamentals of the coin, what purpose is it serving, and you can always get all this information online. Like, it's not like a secret or something that is kept away from anybody. Just go check the coin. There is a popular site, CoinGecko. There are actually two sites, CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. But I think most people use CoinGecko because of its unbiased nature, because in the past, the other one has given some biased information and manipulative sometimes. So you can just go to that site, check the coin, where's this listed, and then check their site. There's something that is called use cases, tokenomics, all to give you an idea of why you should invest in this crypto. Like the people that are backing the tokens, whether it was launched based on ICOs or IDOs, that's initial coin offering and all those things, or whether it started as what's this word now? This very popular thing that people do, give away. What's the word?
It's giveaway basically.
Yeah.
Airdrops. Airdrops.
What was airdrop? Thank you. Whether it started as airdrop, you need to understand that, and then before, because it's your money, right? Something that you can't just throw your money into it. Social media influencer on the next day. You have to do your own research. Or if you feel like you have free money to spare to discover, or you want to think, or as a Ponzi, then of course you can just throw your money in. But if you want to be, like I said the other time, an investor mindset, you need to do those research. I've just given an example. Go to CoinGecko, check their websites, check their white paper, use cases, read them. As long as you can read English, you can read white papers.
Okay, so that's an interesting part. I mean, for a lot of these things, I mean, not everybody, I won't say time, understandability. So I would say what you're practically saying is if you want to understand, you have to get into the trenches. But on a personal level as well,
get your hands dirty.
on a personal level, I mean, most times people need that support of coaches. I mean, we're not necessarily asking people to throw money away. I'll give an example. When I started in this, I mean, yeah, I mean, there were the losses. For me, they were favorable losses because I knew what I was coming to learn.
Right.
But not everybody can afford certain kinds of losses. Is there some, I mean, I know you're on something. So is there some mentorship or guideline, like someone who, okay, yeah, go through this part. Don't put your leg there. If you put your leg there, you burn your hands. No. Are there things like that in existence? I know that there are a lot of communities. For a lot of the terms which she has used, I'll find a day to make a post and share those. But I mean, mentorship, guidance, for a beginner, what's the first thing you tell a beginner to do? I think that's the question.
Okay, for a beginner, I would definitely say that you should find a community, like you said, because in the world generally, or in the world of investing, you can't just start doing things anyhow because you have money. The rich didn't get rich because they started playing with their money. They found people who understand. They got financial advisors, so to say. There are people that knew how, the proper places they can invest their money in. For a beginner, I would definitely say that get in. Everything in life, you need coaching. I think you had Coach Khan or something. Somebody, it's just like somebody that wants to start fitness, start going to the gym. You can't just start anyhow. You need somebody to guide you. Okay, start with the smallest, probably the smallest dumbbell or something, before you start carrying the biggest one. So that's just the way it works too. And in this this is even finance. This is money. Money is something that is very, very important and can generate emotions for people. And thing that I like to tell people, that even people in the community like to invest. That one equal to some people that
and don't try futures trading.
Yes, like don't try the thing that are you scaring me? Am I going to lose this money? No, it's not like you will lose the money, but when you are investing,
it's more like control your greed. Control your greed.
Remove your emotions out of it. Control your greed. And let's say, for instance, let me give a real life instance. When Bitcoin started coming down, using layman language, started coming down from its all-time high, and somebody that probably thought, okay, let me catch the dip because I've been told buy the dip, and then the person bought the dip with their house rent money or school fees, and it was around 40K, around that. But it stabilized around 40K. It looks like, oh yeah, we are stable. Like, I think for majority of us, we actually felt like, okay, yeah, it may start going up from there. So somebody that just come into the space and decided to invest their money into it because I bought the dip. Oh, look at me. I just bought Bitcoin at 40K or whatever coin that they are buying in at that time. But it started going down again. It's going down, it's going down, it's going down. It has gone down. It's currently at 35K. So the person that put their house rent or their school fees, the person is obviously in trouble right now because the money has reduced. Number one, the person hasn't gotten a return of investment, and the money that he invested in it, the value has reduced because it hasn't gone up. But if you are the kind of person, remember I was talking about the investor mindset. If you're an investor mindset that okay, yeah, I tried the dip, but somehow the dip keeps getting deeper. You're going to leave the money there because it's not some money that you need urgently. So you're going to wait for it.
Yeah.
It can take months, it can take days. It's still going to go back up because the market is just going through its circles. It's going to go back up, and when it goes back up, you are relaxed. You can always take your profits anytime. But if this person has used their rent money and they can't even afford it go down, what a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians do. I don't know, I can't speak for other countries, but I speak for people who want to see your investment continue to go down the drain. You take your money out in loss. So at that point, you fulfill the prophecy. Don't use the money you can afford to lose to invest or to trade. That's just number one warning. Don't do that because if it's a spare money, honestly, you just have to, once you put your money in an investment, honestly, you have whatever investment it's, whether stocks, bonds, whatever, anything, kind of part away with it. And just to wait for it to give you the profit you desire. That should be your mindset. Find a community. For me, when I start, it was on. I got to know about this on Twitter. Honestly, if you're not in Twitter, you're wrong. At least you get one like a bit of information from there. I started from there, but I wanted thing personalized. I'm not going to say this is where I got my knowledge, but I did that as paid me because strong with my money. I got it right. So that's what I'm going to tell anybody. Get mentorship, community, and most importantly, yeah, you want to